Hello, everybody. It's time for my Week 14 picks. I'm a little late again. It seems like it's becoming a trend. Hopefully that won't last. I'm Scott Bradley again from NFLMyOpinion.blogspot.com. You can check me out on Twitter at NFLMyOpinion, or you can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/NFLMyOpinion. I did my the Thursday night game on Twitter. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, I put my pick up there. I picked Pittsburgh over Cleveland, but I think most people probably did that, so that's not a big shocker. The proof is on Twitter if you don't believe me, so I got that one right. Then we got Kansas City at the New York Jets, and I got the Jets winning this one. It didn't play very well, so I mean I just think the Jets will win this game. I still don't believe in Sanchez, and I think he'll make mistakes this week, like he did last week against a not so good team in Washington. But I think the Jets will win. Their defense is way good enough to beat the Chiefs, and Sanchez is better than what the Chiefs had coming at him last week in Haney. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say that, but he's had more games of experience. If Haney played more games, he might be better than Sanchez. I really don't think Sanchez is that good, but still, either way, I think that the Jets will win this game. Then we got Tampa Bay at Jacksonville, and this one's really tough because it's at Jacksonville, and Tampa Bay's not playing very well. But I got Tampa Bay winning this game. It's in Jacksonville, so it's not far from Tampa anyways. So if fans are nearby, there's going to be fans. It's in Florida. Jacksonville's not a good team. They got trounced by the Chargers. Tampa Bay wins this game by a few scores maybe. And Josh Freeman might look a little better this week. Then we got New England at Washington, and Washington gave the Jets a fight, but the Patriots are not the Jets, and I'm picking the Patriots this week. Washington, still so much controversy there. I got the Patriots winning this game. There's not a lot that the Redskins have to look forward to. Then we got the Falcons at the Panthers. This is a huge game for the Falcons, but this is going to be a really tough game for the Falcons because it seems like the Falcons can't get their head on straight here, and if they don't this week, it's going to be bad news for them. I'm going to pick the Falcons this week. It's a really tough game. If the Panthers win, I wouldn't be super surprised, but I think the Falcons will beat the Panthers this week in Carolina. Then we got the Colts at Baltimore. And if Peyton Manning was here, this would probably be an intriguing matchup late in the season, but he's obviously not. And I got Baltimore winning this game. Both the Steelers and the Ravens had easy weeks this week. The Ravens have lost to a lot of bad teams this year, so it would be an interesting storyline if the Colts came out and beat the Ravens, but I don't think they will. Their offense is definitely not anywhere near par to compete with the Ravens. Like the Patriots played the Colts last week, and the Patriots defense is not nearly what the Ravens is, so the Colts won't even compete this week. The Ravens offense is a little shaky, so at points, so I don't necessarily think the Colts will get blown out, but this is going to be a convincing win for the Ravens. Then we got Philadelphia at Miami, and this might be the hardest game of the week to pick, and I'm going to go with Miami. I mean, it's hard to not run with that train. They just keep beating people handily. I mean, they lost to the Cowboys, but it was in Dallas. This one's in Miami. They're playing better at home this year after they got things going a little bit. And they've destroyed the teams they've beat, and I think they're going to come out and win this week. All they got to do is put some pressure on Vic. I think Vic could be a real threat. If it was Vince Young out there, I wouldn't even question picking Miami. But with Vic out there, it's going to be a little tougher. They're still trying to fight for the division, whether people say they're out or not, which I think they are. But they're still going to be fighting because no one's clinched the division yet. The best team's 7-5, so they're still technically alive. But I got Miami winning this game. Miami's going to continue to win until someone decides to stop them and put them in their place, I guess. Then we got Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit wins this one. Jared Allen was saying some dumb stuff about the city of Detroit this week, about how he hates the city and he'd rather just drown himself in the river across the way if he had to be in that city. Saying some stupid stuff. The Lions are going to be mad. Calvin Johnson and staff are going to hook up and just be beastly against the Vikings. I don't think it's going to be a game. Detroit wins that game handily. Then we got the Saints at Tennessee, and this is another intriguing game. There's some intriguing games this week. It's really tough. I'm going to pick the Saints. I think if Chris Johnson gets on a roll, I would not doubt that the Titans win this game. It's like with the Panthers. I mean, if Cam Newton plays well, If he doesn't throw a lot of picks, they're going to win that game, or they could win that game. I think it's the same way with this one. If Hasselbeck keeps his head in the game, Chris Johnson runs well like he's been the last couple weeks, then I think the Titans could win, but I'm picking the Saints because the Saints are just having such a high-powered offense. It's going to be hard to beat that. And then we got Houston at Cincinnati, and this is a really good game too. I mean, there's so many good games, especially late in the season here. But what I'm saying here is if the Texans beat the Bengals this week, I would not be surprised if the Texans are playing for the Super Bowl. Their defense is so good and their running game is so good that, I mean, what do you, I mean, they beat the Falcons last week. I mean, come on. And so, I mean, if they can beat the Bengals are a good team. It's in Cincinnati. They got TJ Yates, probably no Andre Johnson. If they can come out and win with Arian Foster on the legs of Arian Foster and some Ben Tate, and TJ Yates plays an average game, not throwing a lot of bad passes, the Texans win this game. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Texans win this game. Maybe it's not a limb, but I think it's a limb because I think the Bengals don't have a lot of missing pieces right now, and the Texans do. And the Texans are playing like champions. They're 5th in my power rankings right now, and I was kind of questioning that when Schaub got hurt. But, I mean, you can't question that the way they're playing. So the Texans win this game, hands down. I'm picking the Texans. I think if the Texans win this game, you could see them in the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. No guarantees, but I think you could see them there. Then we got Chicago at Denver. Tebow is still winning games. I got Tebow winning this game. Again, I heard some people saying, oh, Chicago's going to get, their defense is going to get going and blah, blah, blah. Tebow can't be stopped right now. I mean, I'm riding what's going, and Tebow is going. And I don't care if these games are close. He comes out at the end of the game. He plays with heart. He plays with passion. He's a winner. He doesn't lose. They haven't lost since they changed the offense. He's only lost one game as a starter. I think the Broncos win this game. There's nothing to look forward to in Chicago's offense, and Denver has a good defense. Then we got San Francisco at Arizona. Yeah, Arizona won last week, but San Francisco's really good. San Francisco shut out the Rams, and yeah, I know the Rams aren't very good, but San Francisco is really good, and I think they're going to be competing in the playoffs when the playoffs come around. And I think the San Francisco 49ers win this week at Arizona. This is a test this week, is because Arizona's starting to play hard, kind of like Miami is. And I think San Francisco's going to win this game. And if they do, it makes themselves look a little better, and they keep progressing there. Then we got Buffalo at San Diego. San Diego wins. San Diego's still playing for the division. The Raiders lost. The Broncos won, but they're both only 7-5 right now. And the Raiders are 5-7. And again, like people are saying, they might think they're out of the playoffs. But San Diego did this a few years back. They came back at the end of the year. Other teams started losing. They came back, won the division with, I think it was a 9-7 record or an 8-8 record. So I think San Diego wins this game. It's Buffalo. Buffalo, I think, is going to lose out. They don't have any easy game in the rest of the schedule. I think their worst record game is Miami at 4-8, and they might play Philadelphia too at 4-8. And those are both really hard 4-8 games. And I don't think Buffalo wins another game. I think they finish 5-11. Then we got Oakland at Green Bay. Green Bay, I think, is going to win this game. I mean, the only thing that Oakland's got going for them is they got killed last week against Miami, and they might come out mad. But this is in Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay loses this week. Then Green Bay goes and plays Kansas City next week at Kansas City. That's their last away game is the Chiefs. And, I mean, the Chiefs have a good crowd usually, but they're bad this year. I don't think the Green Bay loses that game. But speaking of this week, I think Oakland loses to Green Bay at Green Bay. I mean, Oakland could win, but I don't think it's going to happen. Then we got the Giants at Dallas. This is a huge game. This might be the biggest game of the week. This is the game of the week, in my opinion. Because whoever wins this game is 7-6 and controls what goes on. Because they play each other again at the end of the year. So if the Giants can win this game, this is huge for them. Because they'll both be 7-6 then. And the Giants will have the tiebreaker in head-to-head. And that looks good for them. I think the Giants win this game. They've lost the last 4 in a row. But Tom Coughlin is getting his team ready. They're coming out there. They're going to lay it down on the Cowboys. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. But I think the Giants' run game is going to be hard. I think Eli Manning is going to play good again. Eli Manning, he's a good quarterback. He's really showing it this year. He played well against Green Bay last week. He played well the week before that. They keep losing, but Eli Manning keeps playing well. And with minimal mistakes this week, I think the Giants win this game. Then we got another terrible Monday night game like we had last week, Jacksonville at San Diego. This week we got St. Louis at Seattle. I mean, before the season started, it might have looked good because they were both competing for the division last year, but now they're both bad. I think Seattle wins this game. St. Louis continues to stumble and stumble and stumble. I think Seattle wins this game. Make themselves look a little better. Pete Carroll he'll give himself another average year at the end of the year, slightly below average, but maybe they're going to start trying to turn things around here and maybe get the quarterback in the offseason. Seattle wins this one. All right, you heard everything here first. There's a lot of games that I'm convinced about. Houston is a big game, and the Giants game is that big game that I think are going to be huge statement games for both teams. And especially if Andre Johnson's not in this week, and if Texans win that game, I'm convinced, man. Texans are legit. It's going to be hard to see. Even when Peyton Manning was here for the Colts, man, the Texans would still be competing because they're that good this year, I think. So, yeah, all right, you heard it here first. NFLmyopinion.blogspot.com. Check me out there. At NFLmyopinion on Twitter. Facebook.com/NFLmyopinion. Please go like me there. Please check me out. Please hate on me if you don't like my picks. Please show me some love if you like my picks. I hope you all have a good day. God bless, and I'll catch you next time.